Could the Bulls be looking to trade Zach LaVine? A report came out from ESPN that the Bulls are potentially listening to trade offers over Zach LaVine. And I do want to kind of start off the show by saying this. I fully do not expect Zach LaVine to even come close to being dealt before the NBA trade deadline. The Bulls have made this crystal clear that they are going to run it back and then maybe reassess at the trade deadline coming up this year. But hey, ESPN decided to put out an article saying that the Bulls are listening to trade offers around Zach LaVine. So we're going over some trade destinations, just my overall thought on number 8 from Chicago, because I'm kind of in the camp of let's keep LaVine. Even if we do rebuild, let's keep number 8 in Chicago. Let's kick into the quote from ESPN here, coming from Jamal Collier, as he says, rival teams have checked in with the Bulls about LaVine's availability. Team and league sources told ESPN, but no team has been willing to meet Chicago's reportedly large asking price. LaVine, 28, is owed $129 million over the next 3 seasons and owes a $48.9 million player option in 2026-27. Listen, my number one reaction from this is, yes, the Bulls should not cave in to a cheap offer. This is your best player. Whatever you think the value is of Zach LaVine on the open market, it should be heightened in the Bulls organization, because if you move off from him, you are indicating a full rebuild. There is no situation where the Bulls trade LaVine and a guy like DeRozan and Vooch stay on the roster. If LaVine gets dealt, this is a complete change of scenery and a complete different direction that this franchise would take. So don't cave into a cheap offer, because I guarantee you, when that deadline rolls around, there will be teams extremely desperate. We see it every year to go and trade for Zach LaVine. We're just going to have to wait and see. But, I mean, hey, LaVine as a player, man, I absolutely love his game, and the numbers speak for themselves. I've said it multiple times. 3-level scorer. I think he's a tremendous just overall athlete. Obviously, I mean, taking back to the slam dunk contest against him and Eric Gordon was probably one of the most fun dunk contests I have seen. But I do expect LaVine in this upcoming year to have one of his best years of his career. He's entering year 10. He's in his prime. He's finally gotten his feet wet fully throughout the NBA, and there really hasn't been a look that he hasn't seen. Can LaVine be the number one option on a team that gets to the playoffs is the biggest question around him. I'm actually in the camp where I think LaVine's going to prove a lot of people wrong and continue to improve. Let's go a little deeper here, just some advanced numbers. I like doing this on the channel because I do think it adds some context, just especially as us basketball heads. Like, I want to know this stuff. I mean, I'm interested in it, so I hope you guys would be too. But catch and shoot, LaVine's one of the best catch and shoot guys in the league, shooting at 41.6%. Pull-up threes, pretty solid as well, actually, 34.2. Obviously, guys like Steph Curry, like he's up there at like the 40s in pull-up threes, which is just ridiculous. Free throw line down, less than 10 feet, floaters, push shots. Anytime getting to the basket, LaVine's great at that, 62.7% from less than 10 feet. That's actually one of in the upper echelon amongst guards in the NBA. And like I said, I do think LaVine is in his prime, and that's why I'm kind of against, caving into a, okay offer if the Bulls were to move from him, because like I said, LaVine is in his prime. I think he's even going to take a next step this upcoming year. We've seen it offensively, his game. He's tremendous. But the thing is with LaVine, can he take steps as a leader? Can he take steps as a defender? Those are the two biggest questions around number 8, if you will be able to kind of get over the hump. But I want to see LaVine kind of embrace the leadership role and be like, you know what? This is my basketball team. I am the number one option. I'm taking the most shot attempts per game. When in the past, it's kind of been like, is it Lamar or DeMar's team? Is it LaVine's team? Is it like an overall big 3 nucleus? Like, I want this to be LaVine's team and everybody else follows. And I think that's when the Bulls could get the most out of this basketball team this year, with obviously guys like Kobe White, Patrick Williams, which we've talked about on the channel immensely about those guys taking the next step. But I'm starting to buy into this Bulls team and buy into LaVine a little bit more as we are nearing the start of the regular season. But I want to get you guys involved on today's video here early. This will be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you scroll right down there, it's going to be the first comment you see. And YouTube's going to hit you with an ad break right now. But make sure you answer the pinned comment of, will Zach LaVine finish the season with the Chicago Bulls? Give me a Y for yes, give me an M for no. Predict it down below. But LaVine had this interesting quote that I want to get to just around the kind of trade rumors that were thrown out there. He had this to say. He said, my camp isn't putting them out. I committed to the Bulls when I signed my 5-year deal. So until I'm not, I'm committed to the Bulls. I've always brought professionalism and consistent play, And that's what I'll continue to do. Listen, LaVine wants to be here. He wants to be in Chicago. Why would you not? Like, all the people at home, like, we know how cool it is when you wear that Bulls jersey and what it means just because of the history amongst this team, the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen days. Like, it's just a little extra juice when you see that Bulls logo. And even when it's playoff time, you see the Bulls in the playoff. Every big-time market, every big, media site, they want to have the Bulls game on there. Listen, he wants to be a Bull, and I'm sure he's getting sick and tired of these trade rumors, and I'm sure you guys are as well. I'm getting sick and tired talking about him, but people keep putting him out there because he is a tremendous player, and people don't think the Bulls are going to be that good this year. But LaVine actually had this sweet quote just about Chicago, and I wanted to share it to you guys because he's really embraced the city, and that's why I'm kind of in the camp, like, let's keep him. I love guys like this who want to be there. Tremendous talent. He's just got to take that step as a leader. But he had this to say about Chicago. He said, I love Chicago. I've always wanted to be in a place that wanted me. And Chicago showed me that. But obviously, trade rumors are part of the business. Are they wanted? No. But I'm a grown man. I've been traded before. I know how to deal with them. You have to take it that way. It's a business, so I don't get too upset. And I love hearing that from LaVine, man. I mean, he loves Chicago. He's embraced it. He's embraced the city. He's embraced the basketball culture that the Bulls have going on right now. And just in a second here, I am going to give you some Zach LaVine trade destinations in this hypothetical situation. Bulls do move off of LaVine. I'm going to give you guys 5 teams to keep your eyes on. But I want to give a huge shout out to Prize Picks before we dive into that. Prize Picks is a new sponsor here at the Bulls Report. Super excited to tell you about them. Prize Picks is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America, and it is the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Instead of battling versus thousands of players, including pros and sharks, you just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. And you can actually make plays on the season right now. Season's only a couple weeks away, so you guys got to get your plays in right now. I'm going more on 25.1 points per game for LaVine. I'm going to go less on 23.8 points per game for DeMar DeRozan. Then I'm going to ride with the big fella, Nikola Vucevic, and go more on 10.9 rebounds per game. Hopefully you guys get involved. It's a ton of fun. It's going to make the games even a ton more fun to watch. So make sure you guys get hooked up with PrizePicks today. One last time, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. You guys are going to love it. I've been having so much fun during this football season playing with it. So make sure you guys get hooked up today. One last time, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that code CLNS. So some Zach LaVine trade destinations to round out today's show. I think the #1 team we got to keep our eyes out here is the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks are going to be aggressive at some point. They have a ton of draft picks over the next 4 seasons, and I do fully expect them to be aggressive and maybe get in the Zach LaVine sweepstakes because, listen, they got a loaded roster, but they don't really have that secondary or tertiary star next to Brunson and Julius Randle. Like, I really do believe if I had to predict it right now, crystal ball, like, I'd probably go the Knicks just because they have potentially 4 draft picks next season if they all come to fruition, do the protections and everything. They're not going to play those guys. So I think they're going to be making a trade soon, and I think the Knicks could be the team that potentially be looking at the Bulls and being like, hey, you guys aren't off to a hot start. We'll give you a young guy like RJ Barrett, maybe a couple picks as well, but expect the Knicks to be aggressive. #2 for me is the Philadelphia 76ers. This is just mainly because of the drama around James Harden and everything. And I really do believe, like, if LaVine would go to Philly and you pair him up with Joel Embiid, I think we could be looking at LaVine and Embiid versus Jamal Murray and Jokic versus Dame and Giannis. Like, I think it would be freaking sweet. The amount of big and guard combos we would have would probably be 3 of the best teams in the league. But maybe they decide to rock with Maxey and move off Harden another way. But Sixers are definitely another key team that could get aggressive. This is my wild card here. Sacramento Kings. They were fantastic last year. One of the most fun offenses to watch in the NBA. And listen, like, I love what Sacramento's done. Like, Sacramento has been absolutely fantastic. Listen, I'm a big fan of their game and just everything they do and everything. Listen, the Sacramento Kings, I'll tell you what, their offense is high flying. And if they would add a guy like Zach LaVine next to a guy like De'Aaron Fox, man, their backcourt would be absolutely ecstatic. And it would just be an electric place to go watch LaVine play in Sacramento. Maybe they could offer you guys, or offer the Bulls, a young guy like Keegan Murray and a couple of draft picks as well. But the Kings are definitely an interesting team to keep your eyes on here because, listen, they're kind of in that same spot where it's they are good enough to make the playoffs and everything, but maybe they need that extra player. And I'll tell you what, they would have one of the best offenses in the NBA if they were to actually bring, LaVine to Sacramento. I actually think they could offer a pretty good package as well. But I do want to give you guys a huge kind of programming alert here. Bulls Nuggets tomorrow night, preseason game number 2. I'm so excited. We're going to be going live here on the channel 30 minutes before tip-off. So if you guys see this thumbnail on your YouTube page, it's going to be me. We're going to be hanging out. We're doing some live play-by-play, having a couple beers, having a couple drinks with you guys. So make sure you guys tune in. It's a ton of fun. My favorite thing that we do here at Chat Sports. So make sure you guys tune in. See that thumbnail. Click on it. We'll have some fun. Number 4 for me is the Miami Heat. Obviously, after they struck out on the Damian Lillard sweepstakes, they're definitely a team that I could see getting involved with Zach LaVine. And, they could offer you a good package. What if they offer you Nikola Jovic, Jaime Jaquez, a couple picks? I think that could definitely entice the Bulls. So the Heat, another team, they could be looking to get another big 3 there in Miami with LaVine, Butler, and Bam Adebayo. But, yeah, definitely these 4 are definitely the biggest 4 likely ones for LaVine. Mainly the Heat, Sixers, and Knicks. Those are probably my 3 top ones. But this 5th one for me, the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I will say, I think with the Timberwolves, they are a good basketball team. They got Anthony Edwards, Cat, Rudy Gobert. Could they be looking to possibly trade Cat? Maybe they don't want to run the 2 big lineup, and maybe they say, hey, Bulls, we'll give you Cat and maybe a pick, and you guys can kind of build your team around Cat and shift to a rebuild, but we want to pair up Anthony Edwards and Zach LaVine. Something told me, just my gut when I was trying to come up with another team, I was like, Timberwolves could be pretty freaking good this year. Maybe they pair up, McDaniels and LaVine, Rudy Gobert. They would have a great defensive team, plus add a scorer like LaVine. Keep your eyes on the Timberwolves, just kind of sneaky dark horse. But, hey, these are 5 teams that I gave you. Well, you guys only need to give me 1 right now. Who do you think will trade for Zach LaVine? If you guys had to pick 1 team that would trade for LaVine, let me know who it is down in the comment section. I would go the Knicks. I think I'm going to go the Knicks. If I had to predict right now, I'd probably go Knicks or Heat. So let me know who you guys think down below. But always, me on Twitter, talking about the Bulls all season long. So make sure you guys give me a follow over there at Pat Sieps. I'll put that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's video. Big shout out to Big Tex. He was making some graphics behind the scene right now, and he had to come up clutch. So shout out to Tex producing this video, making up for my mistakes. But we'll see you guys next time. Tune in this Thursday. As always, go Bulls.